Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you are taking good care of yourselves. Please take care. Today we are going to start our main English textbook, that is Honeydew. Supplementary we will start afterwards. So first lesson in this textbook, the best Christmas present in the world. Before you read, there are some dates or periods of time in the history of the world that are so significant that everyone knows and remembers them. Some historical dates and events are very important. Every day something happens, every day history is created, but we remember only a few which are very important. The story you will read mentions one such date and event. Which is that event? A war between the British and the Germans in 1914. Can you guess which war it was? It was the First World War, we say. Now, do you know which events the dates below refer to? There are some dates given. So, you have to find out the events. Answers are also given on page 23, but let us see them now. First is 4th July 1776. The answer is American Declaration of Independence. Second, 17 December 1903. Wright brothers made the first flight. Third is 6th August 1945. Atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. Fourth, 30th January 1948. Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated, killed. Fifth, 12th April 1961. The first human to orbit Earth, Yuri Gagarin. The last is 20th July 1969. The first human to step on moon, that was Neil Armstrong. So many events happen in a single day. Every day something or the other happens, and very important events also take place all over the world. So many events and dates, on a date many events happen, but we have to remember for our general knowledge, not everything but which are very important. Let us start the lesson now. I spotted it in a junk shop in a Bridport, a roll top desk. Junk shop, we can say, where old things are available in Bridport. Bridport, it is in England, UK. A roll top desk. Roll top desk means it is a desktop, we can say, just like a table with drawers, but the uppermost cover can be removed. That is why it is known as roll top desk. The man said it was early 19th century and oak. 19th century. 19th century from which year to which year? What does it mean? From 1901 to 2000? No, it means 1801 to 1900. This is known as 19th century. Like this, we should remember the century. And it is made of oak wood. Oak is a tree. I had wanted one. Who is I here? Name is not given. I is always the author. As you can see, the author of this lesson is Michael Morpurgo. I had wanted one. The author wants one such desk, or he is longing for it, but they were far too expensive. But the new roll top desks were very expensive, so he was not able to afford or buy them. This one was in a bad condition. This one, it is an old one, but it is in a bad condition also. Roll top in several pieces. One leg clumsily mended, scotch marks all down one side. One leg is broken and it is mended in an improper way. Burn marks, scotch mark means burn marks are there all down one side. So it is not in a good condition, looking very ugly. It was going for very little money, and the price put for it, because it is very ugly, very little money was asked for it to pay. I thought I could restore it. Author thinks that he could bring that roll top desk and mend it or repair it or make it look beautiful again. it would be a risk. Maybe it will happen or not. The table, the roll top desk will be repaired or not. It is a risk as well as it is a challenge. But I had to have it. But he needs it. He was longing for it, so he needs it, and it is very not very costly. It is cheap, so he decides to buy it. I paid the man and brought it back to my workroom at the back of the garage. He brings the roll top desk, brings home and puts in the workroom, which is at the back of the garage. Garage means where vehicles are kept. I began work on it on Christmas Eve. And on Christmas Eve, before the day of Christmas, he begins the work on it. I removed the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers. He removes the roll top completely and pulls out the drawers. Drawers, they are boxes made in the table which we can pull out and back again to its place. The veneer had lifted almost everywhere. The covering, we say when the furniture, on the furniture, sunmica or that sheets are put for decoration, that sheet or veneer which was decorated on it or put on it, it had come out. Why does this happen? Generally, wood is spoiled or furniture is spoiled due to fire and water. It looked like water damage to me. It seemed that water had damaged the roll top desk, but fire and water had clearly taken their toll on this desk. But fire and water both had damaged this roll top desk. The last drawer was stuck fast. Stuck fast means it is not coming out, it is tight. It is very tight, so it cannot be removed or brought out. It is shut tight. It is not easily coming out. I tried all I could to ease it out gently. The author tries every way to bring it out or pull it out easily and gently. In the end, I used brute force, but as he was not able to do it easily, brute force means strength he had to apply. I struck it sharply with the side of my fist. He bangs it with his fist, and the drawer flew open to reveal a shallow space underneath a secret drawer. There is a space beneath that secret drawer is there. We say when we bring cupboards in our house, maybe you are knowing or not, but your parents may be knowing that there are secret drawers. Lockers are there. Inside the locker there is also locker. Under the drawer there is drawer. So secrecy is there. Some things are hidden in some things. There was something in there, and he can see there was something in that shallow space. I reached in and took out a small black tin box. In that shallow space, a small black tin box was there. Tin box, metal box, we can say. Sellotape. Sellotape is generally used to stick the things, not things, but we can stick paper and everything. You are using sellotape at home for wires and everything. I reached in and took out a small sellotape. On to the top of it was a piece of lined note paper, and on that tin box a note is we can say stuck with the help of sellotape and written on it. On it is written in shaky handwriting, not properly written but shaky handwriting, up and down handwriting. It is Jim's last letter. The note reads like that: Jim's last letter received January 25, 1915. On this day, the letter is received. To be buried with me when the time comes, and buried with me when the person dies who is receiving, and it should be buried with him or her. I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box. When the author sees this and he is enticed, or we can say he is feeling that he should not open, it is a secret thing, it is kept secretly in a hidden way, so it is not his right to open that. He should or she should only open, it is a confidential thing. So scruples better of, but curiously got the better of my scruples. Scruples, you can see, feelings that make you hesitate to do something wrong. It is wrong to open the box, still he is doing it. Usually we do this. It is a human habit. What we are told not to do, we often do that thing. Or we want to see what is hidden, what is secret. We are always looking to it to see the suspense, the mystery. We want to know at once. So he does that. He opens the box. Inside the box there was an envelope, and in that box when he opens he finds an envelope. The address read on the envelope, there is read the address is there, Mrs. Jim McPherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridgeport. The address reads Mrs. Jim McPherson. So that person is returned to his wife, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridgeport, again in England, Dorset. I took out the letter and unfolded it. It was written. He opens the letter, unfolds it, envelope he unfolds, opens, and it was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1914. The inside it, the date is written December 26, 1914, and the letter is written in pencil. Comprehension check always helps to understand and know what we have read, have we understood or not. So questions pertaining to earlier reading are known as comprehension check. First question is, what did the author find in a junk shop? And second question is, what did he find in a secret drawer? What do you think had put it in there? The homework is to write down the hard words given. Also during the explanation, which hard words are there, the spellings which you find difficult, you should write it down. Every student has its own difficulties, so you should see that whatever difficult words are there, some may find few, some may find many, but it is your duty, as you are dealing with English language, it will be helpful always to know more and more. You should empower your vocabulary, word power, meanings, hard words, spellings, pronunciation, and everything. So first part is over, we go to the next part. Now the letter reads, the body of the letter we can say, Dearest Connie, I write to you in a much happier frame of mind. The writer is in a happy frame of mind, means his happy emotions, feelings, not sad but happy, because something wonderful has just happened that I must tell. He is writing because something has happened that made him very happy, and he is now narrating it to Connie or Mrs. Macpherson. You about at once. As soon as it is happening, he wants to write it down, and he is writing it down. We were all standing in our trenches yesterday morning. Now he narrates the incident that made him happy. That they were standing, the soldiers, as we saw, it is a war condition. British and German soldiers are there. Trenches, in the land, we can say, on not on the land, but you might have seen film Border or war films. Trenches means dugouts are there in the land to protect themselves or not to be seen by the enemy from there, from where they can stay hidden and attack the enemy. Yesterday morning means yesterday morning, when he is writing, that thing has happened last morning, Christmas morning. It was crisp and quiet all about. The morning was crisp and quiet, as beautiful a morning as I have ever seen. Very beautiful morning it is, as cold and frosty as a Christmas morning should be. Christmas generally comes in winter, so it is cold and frosty, foggy. I should like to be able to tell you that we began it. Now, what is happening? The incident which is going to narrate, he tells that they began it, the Britishers began it. But the truth, I am ashamed to say, but he is ashamed to say, is feeling shame that they did not start, Britishers did not start, the Germans started. What was that? Is that Fritz began it, Germans. Fritz is the word used for German soldiers, common name in Germans. First, someone saw a white flag waving from the trenches opposite. Opposite means German side. The British soldiers, from someone from them sees a white flag. White flag is always for peace, compromise, we can say, not for war. So somebody is waving white flag from the opposite side, that is German side, which is seen by someone in the British side. Then they were calling out to us from across no man's land. No man's land, far away, there or land is there. Where from there they are calling them and saying, Happy Christmas, Tommy, Happy Christmas. Inverted commas means direct speech. Actual spoken words are always in the inverted commas, which is known as direct speech. I have taught this to you already in 7th standard. So they are wishing them Happy Christmas. And Tommy, it is a word used for Britishers. When he had got over the surprise, some of us shouted back. They were surprised to see white flag and the opposite, the soldiers, the war side, the war is going on, but the opposite side is wishing them. So this is a surprise, we can say. When they were over that surprise, some of us shouted back. The Britishers are shouting, same to you, Fritz. They are also wishing back Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas. Same to you, to them. I thought that would be that. The author thinks that that would be that. They just wanted to wish Merry Christmas, and then after that again the fight would start. We all did. All thought like that, that only this time is peaceful when they are wishing, again the fighting will start. But then suddenly one of them was up there in his grey greatcoat and waving a white flag. After the wish, they thought the fighting will resume, but from the Germans, somebody stands up with a great coat, that is war coat, and waving a white flag. Don't shoot, lads, and he is requesting not to shoot. Lads means here boys, we can say soldiers, for the soldiers. Someone shouted. No one did, and according to his request, nobody shoots from the British side. Then there was another Fritz up on the parapet. Parapet is, we can say, parapet it is a raised defensive wall, we can say, on the terrace. Suppose terrace is there, you can see the borders, they are 2 to 3 feet height for the safety that nobody falls down. That is known as parapet. And another, one by one German soldiers are getting up on the parapet. Keep your heads down. I told the man, it's a trick, but it wasn't. He is commanding his soldiers to keep their heads down, means not to listen to them. It might be a trick. As soon as they might get up, they might shoot like that, but it wasn't. But what he thought, it didn't happen. One of the Germans was waving a bottle above his head. Waving a bottle means a bottle is there on his head and he is waving. It is Christmas Day, and he tells, it is Christmas Day, Tommy. He is saying that it is Christmas Day, Tommy, to a British soldier. We have schnapps, we have sausage, snaps. It is just like a wine, we can say. A German drink made from grain. So he is having that thing. And sausage, it is a stuffed meat dish of various meat, it is made, it is a stuffed dish. So we can say sausage is there, snaps is there. We meet you. Yes, they want to meet them and enjoy with them, like that it means. By this time there were dozens of them walking towards us across no man's land, and not a rifle between them. Now, after getting up, the Germans started walking towards the Britishers, but they didn't have any rifles. So it means that they are not coming for fighting, but just to mingle with them and enjoy with them the Christmas. Little Private Morris was the first up. Come on, boys, what are we waiting for? One soldier, Little Private Morris, stands up from the British side and says, Come on, boys, because he sees that they are not having rifles. So it is a friendly gesture. He also wants to meet them. What are we waiting for? Why are they waiting? They should also move towards the Germans. And then there was no stopping them. Then from the British side also soldiers got up and moved towards the Germans. I was the officer. The author was the officer. I should have stopped them there and then. He should have commanded to stop them there and then. I suppose, but the truth is that it never even occurred to me. I should. He should not stop also, and also he should not command his soldiers to stop. He feels like that. All along their line and ours, I could see men walking slowly towards one another. Both are going to meet each other, they are moving towards each other. Grey coats, khaki coats, this is the dress uniform of the soldiers, we can say, meeting in the middle in the no man's land. And I was one of them. He also is one of them in the meeting. I was part of this. In the middle of the war, we were making peace. They are not going to fight with each other, they are not going to kill each other, but they are going to celebrate the Christmas because rifles are not there. So, a friendly gesture we can see it is. You cannot imagine, dearest Connie, my feelings as I looked into the eyes of the Fritz officer. Now, when he meets the opponent officer, Fritz officer, German officer, who approached him, me, hand outstretched, he is telling him to embrace him, befriend him. Hans Wolf, he said, gripping my hand warmly and holding it. He introduces himself, the German officer, as Hans Wolf, and he grips the officer's hand, the British officer's hand, and holds it. I am from Dusseldorf. I play the cello in the orchestra. Happy Christmas. And he says that he is from Dusseldorf. He plays cello. Cello is a musical instrument just like a large violin. In the orchestra, band of musicians, we can say, is known as orchestra. And he wishes Happy Christmas. Captain Jim McPherson, the British officer, introduces himself as Captain Jim McPherson. I replied, and a happy Christmas to you too. And he wishes him also a Merry Christmas. I am a school teacher from Dorset in the west of England. He says that he is a school teacher from Dorset in the west of England. Ah, Dorset? He smiled as if he is familiar with that word or place. He says, "Ah, Dorset," and smiles. I know this place. He says that he is familiar with that place. I know it very well and knows it very well also. We shared my rum ration and his excellent sausage. Here, the British officer, Captain Jim, brought rum. Rum, it is also a kind of, we can say, intoxicating drink, alcoholic drink, and his excellent sausage. And the German soldier, that German officer brought sausage, and we talked and sharing each other's, we can say, drinking and eating, and they started talking. Connie, how we talked, and they talked how they talked. When there is war, it is very abusive and irritating language, but now they are talking like friends. He spoke almost perfect English. He is a German, but he speaks perfect English. But it turned out that he had never set foot in Dorset. From his talk, it seems that really he has not visited Dorset, but he has knowledge about Dorset. Never even been to England. He had learned all he knew of England from school and from reading books in English. He had learned this English from school, and he knows about England from school. We know that today global education is there. We read not only of our country but of the whole world. So Germans also know about England and they also know English. So reading books in English has taught him English. He is well versed in English and knows about England. His favorite writer was Thomas Hardy. Thomas Hardy, a very good writer, a famous writer in English. His favorite book, Far from the Madding Crowd. So, out there is no man's land. We talked of Bathsheba and Gabriel Oak and Sergeant Troy and Dorset. So, they are talking about England, English authors, English books, novels, we can say. He had a wife and one son. born just 6 months ago. He is having a son and a wife. Son who is just born 6 months ago. As I looked about me, there were huddles of khaki and grey everywhere. When he sees huddles means there is a crowd now, crowd of togetherness. Both sides soldiers, Germans and Britishers are meeting each other. So there is a crowd, mob is there, and grey everywhere. And as they are soldiers, grey uniform is there, grey things, grey uniform. Everybody is there. You can see this that in war such things are very rare. All over no man's land, smoking, laughing, talking, drinking, eating. These activities are going on. They are smoking, laughing, talking, drinking, and eating. In the midst of war, in the midst of First World War, these things are happening, which is very rare and it is surprising also. Hans Wolf and I shared what was left out of your wonderful Christmas cake. Connie had made a Christmas cake and sent to Jimmy. But whatever was left, after everybody had had, something was left and they shared that. He thought the marzipan was the best he had ever tasted. Hans Wolf, he tells that marzipan, it is a sweet covering on a cake made from sugar, eggs and almonds. Topping we can say on the cake, and it was very tasty. He had never tasted such delicious marzipan. I agreed. The author also agreed. We agreed about everything. When they are talking, they are sharing and agreeing about everything what they talk. And he was my enemy. An enemy. When some enemy or any enemy tells us, we try to reverse his ideas or say that he is wrong. But here, enemies are agreeing to each other. That is a wonderful thing. There never was a Christmas party like it, Connie. Christmas party like that in the midst of war. Never it had happened. Then someone, I don't know who, brought out a football. Somebody brings out a football. Great coats were dumped in piles to make goal posts. Goal posts were created. Land is already there. Open land is there. Now goal posts are created. Great coats are dumped, kept on each other, piling on each other. ઢગલો કરવામાં આવે છે અને goal post બનાવવામાં આવે છે. And the next thing we knew, it was Tommy against Frizz out in the middle of no man's land. So there is going to be a match of football in the midst of war on the Christmas. Hans Wolf and I looked on and cheered. They are looking at the teams playing opposite sides and cheering, clapping our hands and stamping our feet, clapping on goals or on good passes and stamping their feet and enjoying the match to keep out the cold as much as anything. And they are stamping the feet to feel heat, to make themselves, we can say, heated, so that they should not feel cold. There was a moment when I noticed out breaths mingling in the air between us. Breaths mingling means they are now feeling very friendly. Mingling means mixing up. He saw it too and smiled. Friendly relations have developed in between the soldiers, amongst the soldiers, and so they are smiling. Jim McPherson, he said after a while. Hans Wolf says to Jim McPherson, I think this is how we should resolve this war. Now an idea erupts in his mind that war should not be fought. There is always tragedy, loss is there always. You see, the Mahabharata serial, the Ramayana serial is going on. War always creates destruction. There is always destruction of life and everything, property, life. So many things happen, worse things happens during the war. So this idea is created that war should be resolved peacefully in a friendly manner, in a compromised way. Football match. Here it is a football match. No one dies in a football match. No one dies. Yes, it is true. Only win and loss is there, but no life is lost. No children are orphaned. No wives become widows. I would prefer cricket, I told him. As in English, he prefers cricket. Germans prefer football, but Germans are powerful in football, but Britishers are powerful in cricket. So he told that instead of cricket, he might have preferred instead of football, he might have preferred cricket. Then we, Tommies, could be sure of winning probably. So he says that if cricket was there, the Britishers might have won. We laughed at that and together we watched the game. They are laughing, enjoying, commenting, and watching the game. Sad to say, Connie Fritz won. But he said that his team, that is Britishers, did not won the game, but Germans won. 2 goals to 1. Germans scored 2 goals, Britishers scored 1 goal. So ultimately Germans won. But as Hans Wolf generously said, our goal was wider than theirs, so it wasn't quite fair. Their goal was wider than theirs, so it wasn't quite fair. So match is not there, so he said. The time came and all too soon. These friendly things, as the match ended, these things also ended very soon. When the game was finished, the schnapps and the rum and the sausage had long since run out. These things which were eaten and drunk, they are out, means run out means they are already finished, and we knew it was all over. These friendly things, this friendly atmosphere is over now. I wished Hans well and told him I hoped he would see his family again soon. Now they are wishing that the war will end and they might be able to see each other's family or see their own families, that the fighting would end and we could all go home. So they are thinking of peace, the end of the war, and they would go back home and meet their families. I think that is what every soldier wants on both sides, Hans Wolf said. He also said that no soldier wants to die or go to war, though it is his duty, but there should be peace. Nobody wants to die. Every soldiers every soldier wants to go back home alive. Take care, Jim McPherson, and he tells Jim McPherson to take care. I shall never forget this moment, nor you. Neither he nor he will forget this moment, both tell each other. He saluted and walked away from me slowly, and Hans Wolf, after saluting, walks away from him slowly. Unwillingly, I felt. Unwilling means he is not willing to part. He is not willing to go. He wants to be friends and talk more and stay with him. But unwillingly he has to go. He feels like that. He turned to wave just once. He is waving. He turns once and waves and then became one of the hundreds of grey coated men drifting back towards their trenches. Now he moves back and reaches his trenches in that way. Now, in the actual positions, they are again in their trenches. That night, back in our dugouts, that night, back in their dugouts, we heard them singing a carol. Carol is a Christmas song. They were singing carols and singing it quite beautifully, and very beautifully they were singing. It was Stille Nacht. Silent night means in German, Stille Night means in English, silent night. Our boys gave them a rousing chorus. The British soldiers also gave them chorus, sang back, of White Shepherds Watch. So they are singing Silent Night while Britishers are singing Wild Shepherds Watch. In italics it is written, so that song or chorus is there. We exchanged carols for a while. They are exchanging carols means singing their known carols, and then we all fell silent. Now there is utmost silence everywhere. We had our time of peace and goodwill, a time I will treasure as long as I live. During the war, in between the wars, such things are very rare. So this peaceful and goodwill time, a time which is just like a treasure. And so it is a treasure because such things rarely happen, and he will remember it as long as he lives. Friends, students, we will stop here today and end the lesson in the next lecture. Please do the things given as homework, listen to the video, see the video and listen to the audio also. Take note down the hard words, difficult words, their meanings and pronunciation also, and try to read after this. Take care. Good night.